This is the Weekly Awakening Podcast, and this is your host, Cosmic Colleen, with another weekly astrology update, episode 251. It is Sunday the 9th. Go Birds! Here in the Philadelphia area, everyone is excited. We are going to the Super Bowl again. The last one was in 2018, and we won the Super Bowl, so hoping for the same thing today. This morning when we woke up, we had Mercury conjunct the Sun. Then Mars retrograde trine Saturn in Pisces, and Mars is in Cancer still. But guys, about 2.5 more weeks. Hang on, things will shift and feel a little bit better, especially for my cardinal placements. What I want to talk about on today's episode, we have Monday the 10th, Mercury in Aquarius, square Uranus and Taurus. So there's a lot of energy leading up to the full moon this week in Leo. On Tuesday the 11th, the Sun in Aquarius will square Uranus and Taurus. Wednesday, we have the full moon coming in at 8:53 a.m. East Coast time in Leo. And this full moon will be squared Uranus as well. So that is a lot of energy. And a lot of the episodes, we're going to be talking about that fixed sign energy. And my fixed placements, you guys definitely want to tune in, and my mutable placements. Then on Friday the 14th, Mercury moves into Pisces. And next week on the 18th, the Sun will move into Pisces. The Sun will move into Pisces at 5:06 a.m. East Coast time. So this is what's funny. People think kind of the birthday is their day, but if you find out your time and put that in there, if you're on the cusp, like you could actually be the 18th and be born at 3:30 East Coast time next Tuesday. You would technically still be in Aquarius because it will not move into the next sign until 5:06 a.m. I actually used to have an assistant, and I blew her mind once because she always thought she was a Capricorn, and she was born within that 24 hours on the cusp. And when I did her astrology, she actually was a Sagittarius. So she was like 4 hours away from the sun. It was the date, but the sun moving into Capricorn season. So just a little FYI. I don't think a lot of people realize that. I didn't realize it for a long time until, really even getting into astrology for a little bit. Now, on Monday the 10th, tomorrow, I am getting abdominal surgery. I'll be out of commission for 2 weeks, so I'm trying to make this episode long, but I might not get back to you guys for about 3 weeks, depending on how I feel. Hopefully I feel better next week and I can drop a little episode for you guys. We can talk about more about Pisces season, but, just say some prayers, send some good energy. So let's talk about all this fixed energy. So for my fixed signs, again, for those of you who don't always remember, I'm talking about my Aquarius, my Taurus, my Leo, and my Scorpio. Those are my fixed placements. You guys are very fixed in your energy. Your energy is solid. There's not always a lot of wiggle room in the way you go about life, or even how you kind of like life in general to go. So remember that as we talk about this full moon. So my fixed placements, you guys are going to be feeling this energy the most. A big energy theme of these fixed sign transits will be wanting to break free, feeling stuck, so getting ready to break free, but feeling stuck leading up to this full moon, especially with the Mercury conjunct the Sun, and then they're both going to be squared Uranus. There's a lot happening again. So there's a lot about breaking free. When we talk about Uranus, we look about breaking free, wanting to just lose something. So this energy this week can feel a lot like I want to crawl out of my own skin, and I don't know why. Some of you may know why, but some of you may not. But for those of you who don't know, there will be this like a reason, and you'll know that reason once you have the full moon, and then you will have the sense of relief, and then you'll be able to go back and see, hey, why did I feel that way? This is a very pressure cooker full moon. Again, like the pressure is building. The pressure is building inside of you. The pressure is building maybe between you and another person. And that kind of, when that energy is stewing, you don't talk about it, but there's some pressure between you guys. This could be pressure with, ideologies that people place on you. This could be all those, this could be worldly pressure. This could be pressure at work. There is a pressure cooker building. And then there is a big release, especially for my fixed signs. All my other signs, you guys might just in general, just kind of feel how people are maybe think the energy's a little stubborn, or maybe like people aren't flexible, or at least the way you go about your day it's not flexible. Like, let's say you're 10 minutes late for your doctor appointment. You never are, but they're like, hey, sorry, we can't take you. Like that. The energy will be kind of stiff and just not flexing around, you could say. Now, some of the other themes that we're going to have with this pressure cooker full moon is wanting to break out of an identity, or maybe an identity that others have placed onto you. I did say that earlier, but again, sometimes we hold this identity, or we think we are something because that's what our parents want, or that's how we perceive they will like us, right? Especially with a full moon in Leo, there's a lot about Leo energy that's like, how do you perceive me? And I want you to perceive me a certain way. And usually with Leos, it's because they want to be liked. So maybe that identity of you wanting to be liked so much is actually creating suffering because you're not being your authentic, true self. You're worried about that, right? That is truth when they say, like, if you have enemies, you're doing something right. Or if someone doesn't like you, you're doing something right. Because that means not everybody is going to agree with you. Not everyone's going to align with you. Not everyone's going to be on, again, look at the astrology. We see all the oppositions. We can usually tell. I can usually pinpoint who people don't like based on their oppositions or squares in astrology. So learn to be authentic and break free of whatever identity that you're holding yourself that is holding you back from enjoying. This can be resentments. Again, like I said, building that lead to an argument, but like the argument, sometimes you need a good argument to move past something, especially if, like, for whatever reason, communication is not right and you're going back and forth. But again, you feel that weird energy. Sometimes you need that argument to, like, finally have clear communication, and then, like, oh, wow, I guess it's not that big anymore, right? How often does that happen? And then it releases and that's not that big anymore. Seeing the source of your suffering and finally wanting to change it. Breaking free of an old stuck mindset, being filled with new ideas when previously you were stuck, wanting to take charge of your life again, finally making sense of your confused mind. Don't say Colleen, I hate when I say that. I'm really trying to break free of that. That's what I'm breaking free of with this full moon in Leo. Letting go of self-limiting beliefs, letting yourself have more fun, stopping yourself from over-complicating your mind a little bit. You're going to find where the source of your suffering is. And then especially with the square to Mercury in Aquarius, there's going to be breaking free of an old mindset, being filled with new ideas when you previously, again, were stuck, wanting to take charge of your life. Again, there's finally making sense of that confused mind. There's so many things here where you're going to be aligning your soul again, and your mental and spiritual pressure of these things will take over a little. This fixed sign energy means that this pressure may be coming from your inability to be flexible and to change something. Often the change doesn't come until the internal pressure is too much. Especially for my fixed sign energy, you guys don't like change, and you don't like to be the change, and you don't like things to change. So again, there's too much pressure. And then once you can't take it anymore, you will do something different. Something different. I know it's hard. I know it's scary. And that can also come up for other people right now. You may not have any fixed signs or planets in fixed signs. However, there can be a general theme of things that you are afraid to change. Things that you, in your mindset, that keep you safe or fear. That can just be a general theme for everyone, even if you don't have that. Mercury now is moving into Pisces. Mercury, just like Mercury in Sagittarius, Jupiter sign, it's debilitated. Mercury doesn't work as well there. Jupiter doesn't work as well in Virgo or Gemini, because one is feelings, one sees things, and one is all words and communication. The best description, my kid's father, he has a lot of Pisces. As you guys know, I have a lot of Virgo and Gemini. So often he'll show me, like, the way he's very artistic, and the way he sees things is very artistic, maybe a little autistic too. The way he sees things is this very interesting. He will show me, like, look at this amazing video I want to show. It's really interesting. And it will be like, he showed me this thing the other day, and these characters were like, there was no words. There's playing music, and you have to understand everything with the way the character shifts their face and their emotions, and it's telling a story that just through emotions. Well, that's not me. Like, that is him. And when he shows me that, I'm like, okay, dude, that's boring. I need words. I need to know I need like a psychological thriller. I need to figure out something mentally. So that is a good description, right? So the way that he sees things, or the way that Jupiter, that Pisces Sagittarius, is very felt. They think and they communicate through feelings, and they can understand feelings without words. Mercury people, Gemini and Virgo, we don't like to even understand anything without words. That's how we figure things out. We can't understand or decipher when you're just talking in emotion. We need to like break down the words and fully get the full communication. So that is why one and the other don't work as well when they're in each other's signs. Now, there can be a beautiful crossover, right? Because Mercury people need to learn to like understand feeling or understand gripping things in life through observing feelings. And Jupiterian people, they need to like come down to earth a little bit and learn to like understand and communicate with their words and their minds. So we are going to have a Mercury retrograde that is on the same trajectory as the Venus retrograde. Mercury now, so we have Mercury entering Pisces. Mercury will enter Aries on March 3rd, then it stations retrograde on March 15th in Aries, and then it will retrograde back into Pisces on the 29th. Then stations direct on April 7th in Pisces and moves direct back into Aries on April 16th. Venus is doing kind of a very similar dance, only her retrograde will be a little bit longer than Mercury's retrograde, but a very similar dance at almost exactly the very same time. And I know I talked about this on a last episode. There's going to be some more episodes about this, but definitely go back to listen to my last episode a little bit when I talk about this is with Venus in Pisces. So any of the titles that say Venus in Pisces, go back and check that. So the themes when we have Mercury in Pisces, not Mercury retrograde, I'll be back for an episode before that, but Mercury in Pisces, confused feelings or you can't line up your thoughts with your mindset. Again, like I said, there's going to be this confusion here. However, when Mercury retrogrades back in, there will be a little bit of a deeper understanding of what you're confused about now. Getting more in touch with your emotions and feelings, like you can't avoid it anymore. But that's, again, not a bad thing. Kind of like I said about the pressure cooker with an argument. We have to feel, we have to get in touch with our emotions or they come through us physically, through erratic emotions, those type of things. We have to get it together. This can also be not being rational or people not being rational, mentally lost or confused, maybe even feeling a little depressed. Wanting to mentally detach or escape, but not necessarily bad. There can be bad, but that also could be good. Like, hey, I just need to get out of here. I need to go into the woods or go to a spa and not talk to anybody whatsoever. So this also, there's really a very strong aligning your mind, body, and soul. Getting maybe what your mind needs, maybe what your body needs is a more spiritual practice. Well, what is blocking you from that spiritual practice right now? What are you doing that you keep escaping your mind or that can't ground you in your spiritual practice? Or why are you avoiding your spiritual practice? Or why are you avoiding certain feelings? Or why are you avoiding growth? That's what I'm trying to say. There is this sort of like, how can I align my mind again with my spirit? Or how can I align my mind again with the way I live my life or my life path or what makes me really happy? How do I align my mind back with that? And there's been a lot of themes with this, especially this is a potent time because Jupiter is now finishing up its last little time in Gemini. And then in June, it moves into Cancer. So this is again like this sort of this is going to be very powerful and very potent, especially for my Mercury and Jupiterian ruled people. So all of my mutable signs, this is sort of big, and this is going to be kind of a really big beginning as we also have the first eclipse in Virgo. So there's a lot happening right now. So there is, again, especially my Mercury and Jupiterian, my mutable signs, there is a lot with aligning your mind from a lost path. You have been lost in many ways, especially that have been highlighted when Saturn moved into Pisces in March. It was like March 6th, 2023. It was that week. When that happened, something got lost. Some sort of shift happened in your life where like the trajectory got off point, which also kind of made your mind get off point. And now this is going to be the beginning of alignment. And that's going to come through awareness, through awakening, and through understanding. Trust what's coming up. Trust what's telling you to quit something. Trust in that. Whew. That is my episode, guys. This is pretty intense. I hope everyone has a good full moon. The best way that you can practice this full moon, or it can go easy for you, is to accept a little mutable energy in there, accept a little flexibility, which is the opposite of fixed energy. Allow that pressure cooker to pop and allow yourself to move on from that. Because again, once you got the big pop, things feel good. Things feel really good. And that leads you to your alignment. I love you guys. Again, I will try to be back next week. We'll see though, because as you know, I'm a Mercury ruled person, and when Mercury ends Pisces, I might still be a little like mentally out of it next week, but I will try to be back. I love you guys. Have a great day, and go Birds, go Philadelphia. Again, it's always an exciting time for a city when you're in it and they have all this like fun, I don't know, happy-go-lucky energy happening. It's nice to see people celebrate. So fucking go Birds. I love you guys. Have a wonderful week, and goodbye.